Hello singers, I'm Rita Castillo. Welcome to my channel where you learn to sing for real. Do you ever struggle with memorizing the lyrics to your songs? Well, then this video is going to be for you. Memorizing the lyrics is just one of the important things we need to do to master our songs, especially if we're going to perform them publicly. I'm going to share 10 tips to help you memorize your songs quickly. It can seem a little daunting to memorize all those words along with the other things we need to do to master our songs, such as the melody, the timing, the rhythm, the dynamics, the arrangement, and everything else. Sometimes we need to learn a song quickly or many songs quickly. How do the pros learn so many songs in such a short amount of time? Well, the first step before we even start, we have to get the lyrics, right? Back in the day, I used to go purchase sheet music and learn it off of there, or play the record. This is a long time ago. And keep putting the needle back and writing it out by hand. Now we have Google, and lyrics are available instantly. If you're a younger person, you may not even appreciate what a blessing that is. It's very convenient just to pull up your lyrics on your phone, and you can just look at them while you sing. Many of my students do that, and that's a great first step. But I suggest that you actually print them out on paper because it's a great tool. You can make notes on here, and you can see the arrangement. You can see where the choruses and the verses and the bridges are, and it's very helpful. I suggest you print them out. If you're a musical theater singer, and many of my students are, they do bring in their music, and it's page after page after page, and it's necessary. But to simplify the lyrics part of it, I suggest to them also to print it out, just the words. So here's my 10 tips to help you memorize quickly. You probably have preferences on how you like to learn, visually, kinesthetically, auditory. I'm going to suggest that you incorporate all of those senses, and I'm going to try to hit them all with these tips. Tip number 1, use the first line of every verse to help you remember the rest of the verses. This is very helpful, especially if the song has lots and lots of verses. It can help you remember the words that follow if you have the first line really memorized. This is Amazing Grace. I'm going to pretend I don't know Amazing Grace. So I'm going to memorize the first line of each verse. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Over and over. That's how that verse starts. The next verse. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear. I'm going to get that really solid. Third verse. Through many dangers, toils, and snares. And of course, you're going to learn the rest of the verse, but really get that first line down really well, and that will help trigger what the rest of the words are. Because sometimes you can get lost in a song and like, where am I? And knowing those first lines is going to save you. Tip number 2. Have an emotional connection to the lyric. How do the words make you feel? We tend to remember things that we have an emotional connection to in all kinds of areas of our life, and this works very well with music. If you can tap into the emotion, for instance, if the song makes you feel sad, what are the words that are making you feel that way? And tapping into the emotion will also help you to communicate that to your audience. Number 3. Understand the story of the song. Don't just let the words go by. Notice how each verse moves the story along, kind of like a movie in your mind. Tip number 4. Sing the song just before you fall asleep. This is really great. This will help drop it into your subconscious, which is where you want it. And the next day, you'll be that much further memorized. You'll be very surprised how quickly this works. Tip number 5, focus on the rhyming scheme if there is one. The rhymes at the ends of the phrases can serve as little signposts that move you on to the next line. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. And the third line, I once was lost, but now I'm found. We have sound and found. Get those little rhyming words lined up, and they can help trigger what the next line is. Number 6, sing out loud. Singing out loud is very important. It's a very important part of this process because when your brain hears your voice singing the words. It will create those pathways necessary to get that deep inside of your system. Repeat the words over and over. It's not enough just to look at it and memorize. You must speak it and sing it out loud. Practicing daily for 10 or 15 minutes is far more effective than taking one day a week and trying to do this in 2 hours. A little bit every day is much, much more effective. Number 7, take the time to pronounce and articulate each word and phrase. Some songs are tricky and the words go by really fast. Slow it down and speak them out, and then you can speed it up. Get any difficult phrases to the point where they roll off your tongue. And look up any words that you don't know the meaning of. I work with a lot of children, and there's often words that they don't know what it means. And we always explore what those words mean so they know what they're singing about. Tip number 9. This is one I use a lot because I'm always learning a new song and I need to get it done quickly. So this is one of my favorites. Repeat the words one line at a time and then build to the next line. So you'll memorize that first line, get it really good, attach the second line, and do those two together. When those are good, you add the third line. Here's an example. Pretend I've never heard Amazing Grace. So I'm going to start. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. I'm going to get that where I know that first line well. Then I'm going to attach. That saved a wretch like me. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And I'll do that until that's solid. Add the third line. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Get those 3 lines together. And then finally add. Was blind, but now I see. That first verse is solid now. Then I'll start to add the second verse with the first line. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear. And I go back to the beginning. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. And attach the second verse, and you just keep attaching. And when you get to the bottom, when you get to through the whole song is like one line. It's a really great, effective way to get it very memorized. Sounds like a lot of work, but it's very well worth it. Number 9, write the lyrics down by hand. Writing anything down by hand gets it into your subconscious faster. There's many, many studies that support that. And even do it a few times. It'll help a lot. And the last tip I have for you today is to play the song on repeat a lot and sing along and listen to it over and over in different environments, in the kitchen, in the living room, outside, on your walk with your headphones, in the car. Get used to singing and hearing the song in different environment so nothing will throw you when it comes time for you to sing your song. So these are just 10 ideas that I've given you. There's more, and you may just find 1 or 2 of them useful for you that you like. You know yourself the best, and I hope they helped. I hope these tips helped, and if so, I would love it if you'd hit the thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which ideas did help you, and I would love for you to share your memorization tips in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would so appreciate if you would. And be sure to hit that bell icon so you will be notified when new videos are uploaded. And if you'd like to find out how to work with me privately, I still take private students. You can connect with me at my website, ritacastillovoice.com. And we can arrange a consultation, which is free, a little mini lesson, and see if we work well together. And you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Rita Castillo Voice. As I always say, stay brilliant and sing on. Bye for now.